Java programming. In this lecture, we will understand the concept of aggregation in Java. You have already understood the concept of inheritance, and we have worked out a few examples to explain what inheritance is. In inheritance, I use that word extends and give the name of the superclass. Now, aggregation also inherits the methods and the fields of the superclass, but we are not going to use extends. We are going to make, as you see, a reference to the superclass in my subclass, and that is known as aggregation. So we are not going to use the word extends, but we are going to make a reference to the external class in the subclass. So this also has a relationship. So yeah. So for example, I have one class here, and I'm going to make a reference to this operation and use the square in this circle class. Operation is one class, circle is one class. Here I make a reference to this and use the method refer of operation class. We'll take that example. For example, operation here. This is a class by itself. There is one more class, circle by itself. And as you see here, I make an operation OP. I make a reference to that OP, and then I have got one field here called pi. There is also one more method here of circle class area. I pass radius to that, and immediately then I make this OP is equal to new operation. So I have declared a reference here. I then instantiate here by using OP is equal to new operation. Then in this function method, and then I say OP square. I use the method of the operation OP square and pass radius to that. It finds out the square and it finds out the pi square, that is area of a circle. So therefore this is the function method of circle, which uses the method of operation through aggregation. There is no extends here, but we are directly using the reference to that, and then using the method of the operation in this. And here is the main program. I create a new object called C circle, and then as a C dot area. So it is inheriting therefore this function. This function inherits the operation square method of the operation, and this is an example for aggregation. So understand the difference between inheritance and aggregation. Inheritance, we use extends, whereas in the case of aggregation, I make a reference to the other class object and use the methods of that object in the subclass. So one more example here, employee. Employee, as you say, this is employee has EID, employee name, and address. Address is employee address here. So this is the one more class which I make a reference to that class here, address. So that is, and then use it in the employee class. So here you have got address. So this is the constructor of that address. I pass city, state, and country. So I these are the variables. So they get the values from this function method, which is constructor, address constructor. So I have got employee here, employee. Then address, employee address. So reference to this address. And then here I have got the employee constructor, employee ID, name, and the address. So they are instantiated. And then one more method here, display. So these are all methods of employee display. So displays the employee name and displays the city, state, and country using the address. So employee address dot city employee. Let us see the working of that. So I've got the main program. In this main program, I call the instantiate address 1 and address 2. Two examples are there of two examples of two employees, address of two employees. Then I say employee 1, I create employee. So then I pass his employer ID, EID, name, and the address. So address is refers to this address 1, and here address 2 a reference to this address. So these are also passed. So this becomes therefore aggregation. So then here E display, it displays Varun and, as you see, his address, and second E2 display, I display the EID and name of the second employee Preet, and then his address. So these are the examples of aggregation. Yeah, thank you.